presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Sun.
With 47 games remaining and mired in a difficult stretch, the Rays must fight back in the face of adversity if they hope to keep their postseason dreams alive. Tonight, the defending American League champion Cleveland Indians arrive at the Trop to begin a pivotal 4-game set. The Rays are 13 games into this 17-game stretch against contending teams, and they're hoping tonight they can turn this around. 5-8 so far in that stretch as they open this series against the Cleveland Indians. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. We'll hear from Alex Cordry in just a bit. Well, the Rays were hoping for better things on this homestand, BA. One of the things missing has been offense so far.
Well, listen, this is gut check time. I mean, the Rays starting pitchers have been getting the job done, but offensively, it has been a struggle. 0 for their last 28 with runners in scoring positions, 0 for 24 on this 5-game homestand. And this is where each and every guy has to look at himself in the mirror and ask themselves, how do I get better? How do I win the night? And convince themselves that the good times start rolling right now, because this cannot continue. You've got to take advantage of when your starters are throwing the ball that well. Rays haven't done it so far.
Well, the Cleveland Indians are in first place by 4 games in the Central Division. Great pitching. Their offense has been sort of middle of the pack, but you cannot take that for granted.
No, and Edwin Encarnacion has started to heat up a little bit for the Indians. Got off to a very slow start, but this is a guy right now leading the way, at least until Jay Bruce steps into the batter's box. He's leading the way on this team with 22 home runs, 64 runs driven in. Remember, this is a guy in the last 5 seasons, his home run totals have rested between 34 and 42. The one plus side for the Rays, they know him very, very well because of his time in Toronto, and have actually done a nice job against him. Jose Ramirez, he does everything for the Indians. A tremendous defender down there at third base, and as a switch hitter, he is so very good. He's hitting .309 against lefties, .314 against righties. He's been very, very clutch. 6 game-winning runs batted in, and he's good with 2 strikes, runners in scoring position, a constant threat in this Indians lineup.
So the Rays are hoping to turn this around in this tough stretch against all these contending clubs. When we come back, Alex Cordry will take a look at that, a look back, and perhaps a look ahead at better things.
58-57 record, and after Wednesday's 8-2 loss to the Red Sox, the Rays dropped 7.5 games back in the AL East. But as Kevin Cash noted last night, winning cures just about everything, and the Rays are looking to right the ship with a good series against the Cleveland Indians. It's now time for our Toyota Inside Look, and these 4 games will conclude the Rays stretch of 17 straight games with 5 different opponents contending for playoff spots. Tampa Bay is 5-8 during this daunting stretch, but if they can take 3 or 4 from the Indians, the Rays skipper knows that would go a long way for his ball club.
And look, it's postseason on both their minds. This team, meaning the Indians, is a very, very good team. They can pitch, they can hit, they defend everything. I mean, so it's going to be a challenge, but we've been saying lots of challenge lately. We need to start finding a way to overcome some of those and play good baseball. We know we have to play good to find a way to win games against these guys.
And Kevin Cash needs his offense to turn it on tonight after scoring just 4 runs in their last 5 games. But even so, Tampa Bay is still only 1 game out of the wild card. So it's key for the Rays to get it rolling. Dwayne Stats and Brian Anderson with the call coming your way after this quick out.
Rays open this series against the Cleveland Indians tonight, and the Rays find themselves tied with Kansas City, a game back of the second wild card spot, trailing Seattle, with New York atop the wild card race right now. And the Rays will take a look at this Cleveland lineup for the first time since the middle of May, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Francisco Lindor leads it off, followed by Kipnis and Ramirez, Encarnacion, Santana and Jackson down the middle. Brandon Guyer hits 7th in front of Yan Gomes, the catcher. Almonte, Abraham Almonte, rounds it out. And here is Blake Snell, and his first pitch of this game is a strike call. So we are underway right on time at 10 minutes past 7 o'clock. The pitch is wide, 1-1.
Well, for Blake Snell, another opportunity. I mean, he thought that he was ticketed to go to Durham, but obviously with Alex Cobb going on the disabled list, here he gets another opportunity to go out and try to get the Rays off the schneid here the last couple of ball games, and also himself find that first win.
Well, maybe for Blake Snell the third time is a charm, getting this opportunity because of that injury. And he's starting tonight against this Cleveland team in first place in the American League Central. A 2-2 count. Down to third, fair. Just inside the bag, up the left field line. And Lindor is on his way to second, makes a wide turn, and he'll hold there. He plays this game aggressively and has just picked up his 32nd double of the year.
Boy, a very energetic player. He's got power, he's got speed, and right here the ability to go get a slider. Didn't quite get down as far as Blake wanted it, and he just laces that ball right up the line. Evan Longoria, all he could do was hope that ball was going to be foul. And it is fair into the corner, and the Indians off and running here in the first.
Well, here's Jason Kipnis. Kipnis hitting .225. Fastball is up and in, so right away Blake Snell finds himself in a spot with a man in scoring position to lead off this game. Kipnis has spent some time on the disabled list a couple times this year. He's ahead 2-0, most recently with a right hamstring issue. And he's just a few days off the disabled list from that. Shoulder strain kept him on the shelf early back in April.
Yeah, it's so important to this team. You know, hitting up in the lineup, the defense out at second base, a guy who's been there and done that. One of the longer tenured Indians at this point.
Skied to the left side, twisting foul. That's going to be out of play. Takes the count to 2-1. Now the Indians off a series with Colorado. Split that series with the Rockies. They come in with the third best record in the American League behind Houston and Boston. That's a strike, and the count evens at 2-2. There's Terry Francona, fifth season already as the manager of the Indians, and right at home.
Well, yeah, very comfortable in Cleveland, doing a tremendous job. I thought the managing that he did in the postseason a year ago was some of the best manipulation of a roster, an undermanned roster, all the way to the seventh game of the World Series that I have ever seen.
Yep. And boy, there's a difference between managing in the regular season and the postseason, and he was superb in the postseason. Two, ground ball to the right side, gloved by Morrison. Snell covers, out there, and over to third goes Lindor.
Well, let's take a look at the Rays defense and set that for you here tonight. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in that outfield left to right, we've got Dickerson, Smith, and Souza Jr. And across the infield, third to first, Longoria, Echeverria, Miller, and Morrison, with Jesus Sucre getting the call tonight behind the plate.
Well, that will bring up Jose Ramirez. And what a great story he has been for this Cleveland ball club. He can play any number of positions most of the time at third base. He's also spent some time at second, and he hits all the time. Pitch is upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes.
It's very rare that you see a guy with such a strong and effective approach from the left side and the right side. Usually one takes hold over the other. That's not the case with this guy.
And this pitch just did miss. 2-0. Well, he comes in 4th in the league in hitting at .312. Hitting .314 against lefties and .309 against right-handed pitching.
Such a rarity.
Ground ball, third, backhanded by Longoria. Throw to first is wide. The run is going to score. What a great stop by Longoria. Lindor headed for the plate immediately. He scored. The only possible play was at first, and boy, what a play that would have been had Longoria been able to make an accurate throw. Great stop and a great effort by Evan.
Well, you know, the thing about it is you don't have time here, so you just got to turn and throw it just like he did and hope that it gets there in time and that it is on the bag. You don't have time to set your feet. You don't have time to step into the throw. It's just got to be a windmill, and you hope that the accuracy and there's enough on it, and it just was a little bit wide there.
Now Edwin Encarnacion, shift on for him. And that's why, with that big cut there on the fastball, big swing and a miss.
Well, there you see Brad Miller right out there behind second base, actually on the shortstop side now. And Encarnacion, this Rays pitching staff talked about it in the open. They're very familiar with him, his approach.
And again, a big cut, a couple of fastballs, and right there, right down the middle.
Yeah, I don't know how often I would do that. I mean, that's, you know, it's one thing if it's middle of the plate and it's elevated, or middle of the plate down, depending on a guy's like, but that's middle of the plate, middle of the zone, and he just powered him right by.
And a broken bat, ground ball, shortstop. Echeverria, Miller 1, over to Morrison for 2. The barrel into the bat, wound up down by Longoria at third. 6-4-3 on the double play. Bottom of the first coming. 1-0 Cleveland. The right-hander Danny Salazar will go to the mound for Cleveland tonight, making his 14th start. Here's the lineup he will face, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Corey Dickerson leads off, then Lucas Duda back in the lineup. Evan Longoria hits third. Morrison, Souza Jr. and Miller down the middle. Echeverria, Smith, and Sucre rounding out Kevin Caff's lineup.
Well, Danny Salazar comes off the disabled list, went on beginning of June with right shoulder tightness, comes up July the 22nd, and this is what he has done. Against the Yankees, the White Sox, the Toronto Blue Jays, a grand total of 20 innings, just 8 hits given up, 28 strikeouts to go along with 5 walks. He has been on point here the last 3 starts for the Indians. And he's always one of those guys that has the capability of taking over a ball game, so the Rays need to be ready to hit
early and often.
Well, Corey Dickerson leads off against him. And the first pitch is a strike. Corey with a couple hits in his career against him. A couple of home runs, 21 home runs on the year. Pitch is down, 1-1. Rays 1-4 on this homestand. And 2. Rays start the night 58 and 57, 7.5 back, running third in the East, and a little bit low on that pitch. 2-2, mid-90s with the fastball from Salazar, not unusual for him. Count's going to go full.
Badly yanked fastball right there, and that's what had gotten Danny Salazar into trouble at the beginning of the season. Just inconsistent with the command, especially of that fastball, and it led to some uneven results. But like I said, goes on the disabled list, comes off, and he has been a man on a mission, and the results back that up.
It's a high fly ball into left. Almonte back toward the corner, but a lot of room, and he makes the catch.
Let's take a look at that Cleveland Indian defense, brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Abraham Almonte, Austin Jackson, and Brandon Guyer. Across the infield, third to first, Jose Ramirez, Francisco Lindor, Jason Kipnis, and Carlos Santana, with Yan Gomes behind the plate. Former Ray.
There he is, Brandon Guyer out there in right field for the Indians. Now Lucas Duda serving as the DH. And a strike on the inside part of the plate, starting Duda with a fastball.
Nice to see Duda back in the lineup one night after coming out with that injury to his thumb.
And a strike, catching the corner, up and away. He's been fun to watch in all phases of his game, when he has played first and certainly in the batter's box. DHing tonight, and a little bit of that one. Fastball up. That one at 95.
Just one of those quiet guys, quiet all around. You know, not a flashy guy, goes about his business quietly. He's quiet in the box, smooth, has a good approach at the plate.
Piece of that one.
He's had a nice run for the Rays. A great job. All the games that he has started, he's reached base safely. He's got 3 home runs as a Ray. Got him to the 20 threshold.
And down on the count here, 2 strikes, battling Salazar. And he got him out in front and over that changeup.
Yeah, you know, Salazar's another one of those guys that has the finish on the changeup. He throws that split variety. You see it right there. And here it is at 84 miles an hour, and it just starts to sink and fade away at the very end. And by the time your swing is started, it's a little too late to hold up.
And against left-handed hitters, you'll see that a lot. You'll see it a lot anyway, but especially against left-handed hitters. Now Logan, here's Evan Longoria, fouls it away, strike 1. So Dickerson out on the fly ball, Duda out on strikes. Longoria in that 3rd spot, starts tonight with 17 home runs. You
know, the one thing that Salazar does when he has his command, it's going to be fastball, split, slider. occasional curveball to the righties. Fastball, split, curveball, occasional slider against the lefties. So he gives you a lot to think about.
Into right field toward the line. Geyer's going to have to play it on a hop. And in fact, that ball just fouled. Just outside the line. Longoria looking for 2 bases there. And unfortunately for the Rays, that ball was just fouled. Here it is.
I mean, a few inches from extra bases and a 2-out chance. Evan Longoria hitting that ball into no man's land. Well, that's what you got to do here is battle. Danny Salazar, the batting average against him with 2 strikes is 114. So, and that actually has gone down.
Yeah, those who've gotten to him have done it early in the count. It's a foul ball back. He's given up 12 home runs this year, and 9 of those have come, well, 5 of them on the first pitch of an at-bat, and then 4 more on the second pitch of the at-bat.
He's a guy that tries to catch a lot of the plate early.
The chop right side, that's going to go through. Santana tried to get over there and backhand, and even had he done that, it would have been tough for Salazar to cover the bag. And Longoria chops himself a base hit. Yeah, Salazar getting to the bag and Santana making the throw. There's Carlos Santana, and you see Jason Kipnis right there. So there's a lot of room on the right side. We see Evan Longoria do this a lot. Boy, with 2 strikes, if they're going to give up the right side, he is not afraid to poke it that way, take his base hit, and prolong the inning, which is exactly what he did here. That's just smart. You know, the guy's tough with 2. If they're going to give you a wide open part of the field and then pitch you to make it easier for you to hit it there, why wouldn't you? And it gives Logan Morrison an opportunity to swing the bat in the first inning with a man on. And a cut and a miss. It's an opening curveball here to the left-handed hitter.
So we've seen all 4 of the offerings here by Salazar. Prefers the curveball to the slider against the lefties for obvious reasons. You slow them down a little bit. Pitch you have better command of, not dropping it down and in.
1-1. Morrison, 6th in the league with 28 home runs. It's foul the other way. 1-2 the count. A piece of that one, a foul ball. Salazar finally got to the big leagues in 2013 after signing in 07. 11-6 last year, a 14-game winner 2 years ago. He was 14-10 in 2015. Up and away, it's 2-2. There's a cut and a miss. Joe Morrison is out on strikes. We're going to go to the second. It's 1-0 Cleveland. Sports Sun is brought to you by your local Ford dealers and by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Well, Blake Snell goes back to the mound for the Rays. Touch for a run in the first. And down 1-0. He'll open this inning by facing the first baseman, Carlos Santana. Austin Jackson will hit second, and then the former Ray, Brandon Guyer, up third in the inning. First pitch popped up. That will carry out a play back of the first base dugout. Santana, a .243 hitter. Better against lefties, a little over .250. Fastball misses away. It's 1-1. Snell has faced the Indians before. It was in June of last year. And that came on the road in Cleveland. High fly ball. Alex Smith making the call for it as he moves toward left center. And Santana is the first out. Well, the Cleveland Indians have beefed up their offense as Jay Bruce has just joined their club, acquired from the Mets. 29 home runs over in the National League. And so he is a welcome addition to this Cleveland offense. The Indians 7th in the league in runs scored, 10th in home runs, and that's a big bat for them to add.
Well, you had Lonnie Chisenhall with their outfield situation down, and then of course Michael Brantley just the other day went down with a sprained ankle. And the Indians, you know, who had long liked Jay Bruce, I think that was kind of the impetus to finish this thing off. And they didn't really have to give up much to get him. They're going to have to assume the rest of his salary, but they got him relatively, as far as player to player, on the cheap at this point. And you're right. You think about teaming him up with Encarnacion, know what he's capable of doing, and then of course 29 on the books already for Bruce. Pretty stout middle of the lineup.
2-1, and Jackson went after a pitch a little wide and fouled it. 2-2. Holds right there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that outing Snell had against the Indians, if you're going to look there, Brandon Guyer the last season, pitched into the 7th inning of that game and took the loss. He strikes out Jackson. Bite on the slider. So with 2 outs, the bases are empty, and here is Brandon Guyer, the former Ray, who perfected being hit by a pitch in his time with the Rays. Only .220 right now. He's been hit 6 times this year with the Indians. And he faces Blake Snell. Pitch is a strike on that outside corner, up and away from him, but catching the strike zone.
It'd be nice to get that call all night. If you're a guy that's got good velocity, you could pop that up there and get the swing and the miss and the strike, or the strike. That would be a bonus.
That pitch up a bit too much. 1-1.
Testing the limits. How far are you going to let me go? And
a cut and a miss off speed had him out in front.
Yeah, he's shown. He's thrown a couple of good changeups. Had a foul ball off the bat of Austin Jackson with a changeup. That one very good.
And he pops him up. Miller making the call in shallow center. 1-2-3. Go the Cleveland Indians. 1-0 Cleveland, bottom of the second coming. Jr. will open the bottom of the second. You can win an opportunity to go on a shopping spree with a Rays player. The Pepsi Shop with a player contest will provide one lucky Rays fans with a Walmart gift card and a chance to spend it shopping with a Rays player. Enter the Pepsi Shop with a player contest at enterpromo.com/splitter. Wave and a miss by Steven Souza Jr. Souza starts the night with 24 home runs, having a career year. It's a 1-1 count now.
Oh, he's been consistent. Yeah, that's the thing. He got off to a good start and really has kept it rolling all season.
1-2. It's the breaking ball.
That had some nasty, sharp break to it. Down and away, and Salazar here in the early going.
Ooh, strike 3 called on the outside corner. Fastball catches Souza looking.
You know, after that breaking ball, if you're Souza Jr., you've got to guard against that. Obviously, you don't want to get beat by the fastball, but you get kind of caught in between. And then how about Salazar? Not only 96, but easy 96, right to the edge. Ball is coming out of his hand free and easy here tonight.
Well, his strikeout to innings pitch ratio is very healthy. 3 strikeouts already tonight. Brand Miller fouls it back, strike 1. Retired 4 hitters with 3 strikeouts. Gives him 108 on the year in just over 68 innings. Take that back. 70, just over 76 innings. Still very impressive.
Oh yeah, 30 plus. You know, a strikeout per inning pitch. You're happy with that.
Yep.
And he's got 30 more, 30 plus more. But he can dominate. That's why when we talk about that batting average against him with 2 strikes, the ability to put guys away, you look to attack early on pitches that he's just trying to get out over the plate for strike 1.
1-2 on Miller. Yeah, you're right. He's broken out the entire arsenal, and these pitches have been good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in complete command of all of them right now, and he's mixing them very well, too.
Miller fouls the fastball out of play to the opposite side. Well, when it comes to strikeouts, he's in great company. Look at this. Most strikeouts in his first 100 appearances since 1913. Herb Score, Corey Kluber, Salazar right there. I mean, he goes Herb Score of Cleveland Indian lore, and Corey Kluber, who some people will argue with a full recognition of some other great pitchers going right now, but some people like Kluber's stuff better than anybody else's. So that's very impressive company, past and present, for Salazar.
And Bob Feller.
Yeah.
Well, fourth
yeah,
on that
by the
list.
way,
Oh,
Bob
my
Feller.
goodness. Yeah, that is.
And a walk. So Miller fell behind but draws the base on balls.
It's so funny. Herb Score for a long time was a Cleveland Indians radio broadcaster.
Yep.
And it's funny because you'll hear an old Cleveland Indian highlight, and when I hear his voice calling that highlight, it literally takes me back 8, 9 years old, radio outside, chopping wood with my dad.
Yep. It's one of the great things about baseball that happens generation after generation. Echeverria swinging and missing, strike one. Were you swinging the axe?
I was, and I didn't like to use one of those maulers, you know, when you're chopping firewood. I didn't like them. I liked a straight axe because you just chop off the the edges. It wasn't like straight fourths. And the axe, you had to create some bat speed, some axe speed, or it gets stuck in the middle. And if you were trying to chop the firewood before it had completely dried out, and it's a little spongy in the middle, oh yeah, like swinging in quicksand.
Quite a sight, seeing an axe in your hand, a mental image of that.
Well, things started off wrong for me. I think these stories, if you start to piece them together, it creates a picture, and it's not all that pretty.
Yeah, it created a great work ethic. Swing and a miss. Echeverria overpowered by the fastball. So 2 outs.
You know, Kevin Patterson, our esteemed producer, brings up a great point. What family hands an 8-year-old an axe? And while I get his point, this is middle America. And this isn't like the crazy, like, we were more mature at 8 than they are nowadays. And so we could be, entrusted with the axe.
Well, and there was a time when children were expected to contribute to the family.
Yes.
And as opposed to being the darlings that they are.
Oh, right. Exactly.
Alex Smith.
There were chores.
Missing,
there were chores, and not everything that we did was celebrated.
And your chore involved an axe.
It did. It did.
Runner at first with 2 outs.
And no, I did not get a trophy for it.
Ground ball, right side, through into right. Miller's going to head to third, and the Rays will have men on the corners with 2 outs in the second inning. Boy, the Rays are so itching to put an inning together. Just some timely hits. First to third, keep the merry-go-round going. A couple guys cross the plate, get another run or 2 in 1 inning. Be like old times.
Yeah, well, and you know, it's one of those things, too, where you get the feeling that once they do that, then all of a sudden it'll start to become the norm again. But you've got to get that first one out of the way, and you've given yourself a great chance here with 2 outs.
And there's Jesus Sucre.
Yeah, time to turn that around. You got a guy at the plate that's been very, very good with runners in scoring position the vast majority of the year. Kind of fitting that he gets the first crack here, or the 29th, depending on how you're looking at it.
Takes a pitch in, and that's a ball. There's Greg Gibson. How about this? 2 outs with men in scoring positions. Even better, 368, 7 of 19.
He stays up the middle. He really stays up the middle with his approach.
2-0. He'll be disciplined up there as he has been here. Took a very close pitch to start this at bat. Was called a ball. And that one clearly out of the zone. 2-0. Fastball is up. 3-0.
Salazar starting to rush the delivery a little bit and overthrowing. That's a bad combo.
Corey Dickerson on deck. Now strike. 3-1. Tough go for Kevin Cash and the Rays recently. 1-4 on this homestand. And a foul ball straight back. That'll run the count full. Salazar heard back and delivered the mid-90s fastball on 3-1. A challenge right there. So the count is 3-2. Foul out of play. Fastball away, but not taking a chance on a pitch close, and he fouled it there.
If anybody should know that, it should be Jesus Sucre, a catcher, understanding that the umpire behind the plate, if it's close, do not put it into his hands. You know, go out there, try to foul it off, put a ball in play, do something.
To first, back in. That's Malik Smith over there. Smith singled with 2 outs after the walk to Brad Miller. Miller going first to third. And another 3-2 pitch from Salazar. It's lifted foul once more. That will carry out a play. Well, one thing the Rays have done here is run Salazar's pitch count up. He's in the mid-40s now. Salazar made 112 pitches his last time out. 7 innings against the Yankees. And a swing and a miss. The high fastball got him. And the Rays leave 2. No runs, a hit with those 2 men left on base. Fastball up, ends the inning. 1-0 Cleveland. Bringing a $7.11 ticket to Rays fans. Visit a local participating 7-Eleven store. Pick up the Rays discount coupon for the game tomorrow against the Indians. And while you're there, cool off with a Big Gulp in a Rays branded Big Gulp cup for just 79 cents in stores through August. Rays up. Yan Gomes goes after the first pitch and skies it to shallow center. Alex Smith eyeing that one the entire way, makes the catch. So with one out here in the third, let's go to Alex right now.
Hey, Dwayne, what was a scary moment on Wednesday night when Rays starter Jake Odorizzi exited the game in the 5th inning after taking a comebacker off of his right foot. But it was encouraging news when X-rays came back negative yesterday. And as for today, Rays manager Kevin Cash talking before the game, he says he's optimistic that Odorizzi will make his next start. But Dwayne, tomorrow he's scheduled to throw a bullpen session and will further test out his right foot and ankle.
Yeah, thank you for that update. That will tell us a lot tomorrow, because initially that was a scary moment and you were hoping for the best, and it appears the Rays are going to get the best of what could have been a very difficult situation there.
Yeah, you were hoping, first of all, that it caught mostly shoe or all shoe and not above that, because you know he'd be in big trouble then for how square it hit him. But also the way that he went down. I mean, he didn't get hit, limp, fall. He went down in a heap. And you're saying to yourself, when you do that, usually you know. And you know, you read some of the reports today of the feeling that he had, and it just went numb on him. And that's scary. That's very, very scary. So, boy, if that works out and he's able to make his next start, what a break.
Abraham Almonte, the 1-2 count now. Gomes out on the fly ball to center. Tapper foul. You got to have him already spend time on the disabled list, speaking of Odorizzi, a couple times, and then come back and right there in his first outing facing that possibility again. Not very pleasant, but it appears that he's going to be okay. And of course, Alex Cobb right next to him on the DL already, and hoping that that's going to be just a short stint. He thinks it will be, and he'll be right back.
You think about it too. I mean, if that would have gone badly for Jake and he ends up on the disabled list again, or misses an extended period of time, you know how hard it is to get into a rhythm? You spend 2 or 3 different times on the disabled list. It's just so very difficult to get into a rhythm as a pitcher. And you were, you know, hopeful that this time Jake could get things rolling like we know that he's capable of. And it looks like he'll be afforded that opportunity.
So there are a couple guys there. It would appear that Jake's going to be okay, and Alex Cobb will be back soon. The Rays already have enough pitching on the disabled list, as Almonte overpowered right there by the fastball. So 2 up and 2 down in the 3rd inning. And Matt Andriese also on the disabled list, and the Rays continue to see progress there. He felt good. He threw a bullpen session today, and they figure he'll have a rehab start on Sunday. That's what they're looking for him next.
The next step in the long trip back.
Lindor taking a strike. He doubled and scored the run in the first. What a catalyst he was last year for this Cleveland ball club, moving all the way to the World Series. 1-1. He continues to be an impressive presence on this team.
Now lead off with some power, playing one of the most important positions on the field out there. That shortstop.
And that's a good pitch right there. Outside corner at the knees.
Doing a much better job of mixing his pitches, and that's because he's been able to work from out in front, hasn't fallen behind too many hitters in really bad counts.
Upstairs, 2-2, and that really has been the challenge for Blake Snell. And you've talked about it a lot. You know what that's like. 41 pitches, 28 strikes, but that first pitch strike so important for Snell and every pitcher. This one a play unassisted by Morrison at first on the breaking ball. Lindor is out. 1-2-3. Go the Indians. 1-0 Cleveland. In center field, and boy, from the time he first came up to the big leagues, he's been known as a great defender. You're not going to find a better catch than this. Hanley Ramirez hit that one, and Jackson caught it, went right into the bullpen, and was number one, okay. Number two, held on to that, and what a catch by Jackson at Fenway Park to rob Hanley Ramirez. Corey Dickerson will lead off for the Rays in the bottom of the third. Ground ball right side. Kipnis closes the hole on that right side and makes the play. Dickerson out on the first pitch.
Well, that's something that Danny Salazar will be looking to do here. Second time through the lineup is some quicker outs. Rays are able to work that pitch count up, and he's already closing in on 50, but gets a first pitch out there.
Well, that's what we talked about briefly earlier. 5 home runs on the first pitch and 2 on an 0-1 count, and then 2 more on a 1-0 count.
Well,
so you could add a couple more home runs to that total.
Yeah, and that all that tells you is a guy who has tremendous stuff, and command previously in his career has been an issue. So what does he do? He goes out and attacks the center of the strike zone early. He's looking for the big part of the strike. He's not a guy out there looking for outer third and work from there. He's looking outer half, inner half, and work from there. Well, that's going to lead to some pitches out over. And so guys know that. They go up there looking for that first pitch strike to get ahead, and then as he looks to expand, and they take advantage of it. That's all that is. And plus, you let him get deep into the count. We've already seen the numbers on that.
2-1 to count.
That's why first pitch strikes important, but more important than that, first pitch quality strikes. It's not just about here it is down the middle to start you out. That can backfire just as badly as falling behind.
2-2 to Lucas Duda. And here's a full count, and he has run some deep counts. 3-2 with 1 out, bases empty in the third. Evan Longoria is on deck.
21 of his, well, no, 22 then. 23.
Ball 4.
23 of his 35 walks have come in full counts. So they tend to be long counts. That's what gets that pitch count up there.
Well, Evan Longoria will be up. The Rays have left 3 men through the first 2. Now a man on with 1 out in the third. And Longoria all set for the hard stuff and swung over that one. Strike 1. Ray saw Salazar in Cleveland in the middle of May and beat him 6-4. He got 5 runs in 5+ innings and hit 4 home runs off him. There's a fly ball back into left. It's going to go to the track, and Almonte, just in front of the wall, makes the catch. And Longoria out in front just a little bit. And that's out number 2.
Well, that ball had the trajectory and the swing that led you to believe that maybe good things were going to happen for the Rays right there as far as an extra base hit or a 2-run homer. And it just did not get there, not quite barreled up. I think Evan realizes, too, just how close he was getting that ball out of here.
Well, here's Logan Morrison. Ball is a strike on the corner. Due to the base runner. Morrison takes it too close. Rays took 2 of 3 from the Indians when they were in Cleveland in the middle of May.
That was the home run series.
Yep.
They were popping them out left and right.
Upstairs takes the count to 2-1. I think the Rays hit 10 home runs in that series.
They did. They did. That'll go into the record books in the history of this franchise, but they were rocking back in May. This team got off to such a great start with the power numbers. It slowed down here just a little bit recently.
A big cut to miss. It's now 2-2. Logan, 1 of 9 in his career against Salazar. Square with him in the count, 2-2. This one softly into center is going to drop for a base hit. Duda stops at second. Jackson getting to that ball as quickly as he could. So 2 men on with 2 men out on the base hit by Morrison.
Well, they're right on the verge, right on the verge. Mislocation, meant to be away. That ball gets middle in, and Logan Morrison just able to serve that ball out there softly into center field, and you give yourself another chance. You keep doing that, you are bound to break through, and then once you do, maybe the floodgates open.
Well, here's Steven Souza Jr. He was called out on a fastball away. Fastball at 96 his last time up there. A little bit wide. 1-1. Salazar pitched against the Yankees his last time, 7 innings. White Sox 6 innings the time before that, and the Blue Jays 7 the time before that, coming off the disabled list for that one. That was on the 22nd of July. He spent 6 weeks on the shelf with soreness in his right shoulder. It's fouled straight back. And it's 1-2. Rays trying to break through, down 1-0, 2 men on with 2 men out in the third. Souza fouls it, holding the count. 1-2. Well, the Rays 1-4 on the current homestand. They've been shut out 3 times. And coming into this one, over the last 5 games, they've scored a grand total of just 4 runs. I mean, you see this team, well, we're talking about that series in Cleveland. They hit all those home runs. You think that's impossible. But it has been the difficult truth recently. There's a fly ball into left. Almonte will come in a few steps, and the Rays lead 2 and fail to score. We go to the 4th, 1-0 Cleveland. Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. A peek into both leagues actually in the American League with Houston and Alex Bregman with that 11-game hitting streak. The Astros have come back to earth a little bit. They've lost 7 of 10, still up by 13 in the West. And Chris Davis for the Orioles in the last 10 games, just 4 for 37 with 13 strikeouts. The Orioles have dropped their last 2 while the Rays have done likewise. Rays running third, 7.5 back. Baltimore 4th, 9 back. Jason Kipnis. That's a strike. It's foul back. 0-2. Bregman there, and it's still hard sometimes to think of Houston being in the American League after all that time in the National League for them. And the Brewers, you're never quite sure what league they're in.
No.
American League, then National League, and Houston from the National League to the American League.
Greg Gibson is going to go out and talk to Blake Snell about this breaking ball and how short it was, because it hit him in a very, very sensitive area, and it hit him good. And he's out there like, could you keep that up just a little bit, maybe in the zone? Let's take a look.
Yeah, not good.
And if he picked that ball up,
if he has to make another trip out there, it's not going to be a little tap.
No.
It'll be a little more direct with a little more force behind it. Here's the 1-2 to Kipnis. 2-2. And there's a shot up the left side, gonna stay fair and will bound into the stands. So a double for Kipnis to open the 4th inning. Well, he didn't hit it hard, but he hit it fair and deep enough, and it bounced right into the 162 landing out there.
Well, the location of the pitch, he's going to get a breaking ball, and he's going to be fortunate that Blake Snell leaves this thing up. Curveball, it stays up, so he's able to get a good beat on it and just line it the other way. You're doing this with 2 strikes. That ends up becoming a gift, and he's able to keep it fair on top of it.
You got to be sure down there. Have your hands protect you.
Well, and it's tough with your eyes closed.
Well, here's Ramirez. Pitches down. The Indians scored a run in the 1st inning, set up on a leadoff double by Francisco Lindor. Blake Snell trying to prevent that same scenario from developing here in the 4th. Leadoff double by Kipnis. It was Ramirez who drove in that run. Yeah, it's a strike, and it's 1-1. Boy, that pitch up and away, fastball. Could be a good place to stay.
I'll tell you what,
he has received a couple calls up there.
And that pitch wasn't close. That's not even a close strike. That's well off the plate. Man, live out there.
Cut and a miss on the fastball that time. Now it's 1-2. Well, he has a man in scoring position. Snell behind him with Ramirez at the plate. Encarnacion due next. Then Santana. Still 1-2. Fastball foul the other way. Well, the second time through has also been an issue for Blake Snell in his time with the Rays this year. 2 other stints he's had up here. This is his 15th start. Ahead in the count. Ramirez lifts it into left. Dickerson is right there to catch it, and 1 gone on 1 difficult hitter.
Well, what did he do? He got ahead of him. I mean, Blake Snell can make the toughest hitters in an opposing lineup, and he can nullify that if he can consistently pitch ahead. That's what he's not been able to do. He's been able to do it for stretches, but he's not been able to consistently put that together. If he ever does, at bats like that will become the norm for him. He's shown a good slider tonight. Hung the 1 curveball to Kipnis. The changeup's been good.
Encarnacion takes the pitch down. Started him. The pitch trying to get him to maybe turn something over. He grounded into a double play. The 1st. pitch is wide. 2-0. Encarnacion up here with the man at second right now in a 1-0 game. The double play he got in the first ended that inning after Ramirez had driven Lindor home. Kipnis at second, 1 out. 2-0 pitch. And he just missed out there to make it 3-0.
Not wanting to give in here and respecting that power of Encarnacion. Still working, trying to work around the edges. Now he's put himself into a tough count, and you know that this guy at the plate has the green light. 3-0. So don't just lay one in there.
And that's too high, so he walked him. Everything away, and that one up and away. 2 on now with 1 out. Well, Santana will be the hitter. A 1-0 ball game. Santana can be patient up there. And he takes that pitch for a strike. Fly ball to center his first time, and he tends to be more of a fly ball hitter than a ground ball hitter, but he has grounded into 9 double plays. Ground ball here, back at third. Longoria to Miller, 1. First base not going to be in time. Well, a ground ball, but deep back at third, and Santana beat the relay throw to first. Encarnacion forced at second base.
Yeah, a long throw by Evan to start it after having to go deep and close to the line. Backhand, can't really get a ton on the throw. Accurate, but that gives Santana just enough time, and you see that slide rule coming into play again. I mean, that was a close play out there at second base, but Brad Miller, no fear whatsoever, able to stand in there and make that throw because of the change in the rules. Watch this. I mean, he's got a guy bearing down on him, not even worried about it. No, he's not going to get flipped, and you can stand right there and make the play. That's one of the big differences of the game today than even just a few years ago.
Now Austin Jackson. It's a pitch upstairs. Yeah, it didn't even bother Miller that he had a pretty good sized guy at Encarnacion barreling down.
No, you got that invisible shield right there at the bag. Nobody, you're not getting guys coming over that bag. It's just not happening. Not like it used to.
A 2-ball, no strike count. Jackson a strikeout victim in the second inning. One of 2 strikeouts for Snell tonight. He's way behind. 3-0. Missed with the fastball up. One nothing game. We're in the 4th. Cleveland runners on the corners. Santana at first, Kipnis at third. He opened the inning with a double. That's a strike. 3-1. The other danger is you have Geyer on deck, and of course you load the bases and put him up there, he'll figure out a way to get hit by a pitch. Snell hasn't hit anybody this year with a pitch, but that doesn't make any difference to Geyer.
I don't know if he's hit anybody in his career. I mean, really, he doesn't pitch in all that much against righties.
Well, here's the challenge now. Ball 4 to Jackson. Jackson goes to first. Santana moves to second. Kipnis already at third. The bases are loaded, and here's Brandon Guyer. Guyer popped out to second his first time. Guyer came into the game hitting .220. And the first pitch is a strike, fastball. Two walks given up by Snell, both in this inning, and the last three hitters. That's strike two. He went to that corner up and away to a right-handed hitter and got another strike.
I don't know why you just wouldn't. That's got to be your go-to spot, especially if you can widen it up there. Almost impossible to get to as a right-handed hitter. Just try to slap at it. They're going to go right back up.
Took a shot out there and was hopping off the mound. Yep. Looking for that call.
Hang on.
Yep.
Hang on.
Easy does it.
Easy. That was close. Sucre, boy, Sucre yanked that ball back towards that corner so quickly.
Yeah, Sucre doing everything he could for Snell. And there is strike three called. He hit that spot up and away again. Gets a called third strike. Cleveland will leave him loaded. Here's the strikeout pitch. It's been called all night. 1-0 Cleveland. Rays Baseball on Fox Sports Sound is brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Headed into the bottom of the fourth inning at Tropicana Field. Cleveland scored a run in the first. A lot of base runners left here in the early part of this game. Giovanni Urshela takes over at third base, and Ramirez will move from third to second. Kipnis out of the game. Brad Miller leading off. It's a 1-1 count to Brad. Adeiny Echeverria hits next, and then Malik Smith. Rays have stranded 5 through 3. And the Indians have stranded 4 through 4. Upstairs. Cleveland scored a run in the first. Pitch is pop foul back and out of play. Kipnis was running the bases in the top of this inning, and he's right there signaling the dugout that he's not 100%, and so he has left this game. And there's ball 3 down to Miller. 3-2, as we discussed earlier. He was limited early in the year by that shoulder strain, and then a right hamstring problem kept him on the disabled list for almost a month. He just came off like 5 days ago, and so he's having a little issue with it here tonight and leaves the game.
Well, the Indians as a team battling injury issues all season long and affecting a number of their key players. Cannot get everybody on the field at the same time.
And most recently, Brantley's on the shelf. There is ball 4. The Rays put the leadoff man on. Brad Miller draws the walk. Here's the injury list right now. Michael Brantley with that ankle sprain goes to the DL, and Andrew Miller favoring his right knee on the DL. These are significant losses for the time being.
You know what? And if he can keep that up for another 10 years, he could look like our man from Houston. He's got a good start. The mustache.
Yeah, he's got a little ways to go before he needs the hairspray on that stash. But he'll get there. So strike 1 to Echeverria.
That's an aggressive stash.
Yeah, the stash we saw in Houston, that's sort of a Longhorn stash as far as that thing, as wide as it was.
I don't even think that that's legal outside of the state of Texas. I don't think he can cross state lines with that.
Well, usually your mustache cannot exceed the brim of your cowboy hat, but that one did.
Guilty.
Yeah. And hairspray was his secret, as we found out. Echeverria chases that one upstairs. First out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, this is the inning that you want to make a move. You know, Danny Salazar, while impressive in racking up some strikeouts, his stuff has been electric. You know, there's good life to all of his stuff. The command still has not been there. A number of walks now. A leadoff walk in this inning. You've had a couple of opportunities against him, and it's high time to start cashing something in.
Runners in every inning now for the Rays. Here's Malik Smith. He lifts it toward the line and left, and Almonte backs up and makes the catch. A tag, and Miller decides to hang on at first. Malik Smith is out, number 2. Jesus Sucre struck out to end the second inning with men at first and third, as Miller at first here in the 4th. Salazar starts him with a strike on the fastball. There's a liner into center, gonna drop for a base hit. Big hop in front of Jackson, and that moves Miller into second base and will flip the lineup to the top of the order, and Corey Dickerson He's had some success against Salazar. So let's see if the Rays can do it with 2 outs in the 4th.
Yeah, this is it, and this is an example right here of what we talk about with Sucre, using the middle of the field, that inside up the middle approach. It allows him to stay on the baseball. He shoots that one into center, and the Rays here with another chance. This is it. This is the one.
Well, you get a base hit from your number 9 guy to keep the inning going. Move a man into scoring position and get Dickerson to the plate. That's a major contribution, and now let's see what Corey Dickerson can do against Salazar. That's a strike out in front over that pitch. Men in scoring position for Dickerson, 325 this year. It's been an issue for the Rays. And a cut and a miss. Rays right now are 0 for their last 30 with men in scoring position. Dickerson down 0-2. And strike 3 called. The Rays leave 2, and they're 0 for 31. We go to the 5th. It's 1-0 Cleveland. Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head to head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays from 9:30 a.m. to noon Eastern, only on FS1. On to the 5th inning we go. Blake Snell, 4 innings of work, 67 pitches. And here's Yan Gomes to lead off the 5th. Almonte next, and then Lindor. Gomes takes a strike. Gomes sends a fly ball into center. Alex Smith is right there and makes the catch. Off speed pitch takes care of Gomes. And for the second time, lifted the ball into center, caught by Smith. Abraham Almonte. .242 on the year for Almonte. Pitch is wide. Fouled right back. 1-1. A bit high. Monte at the plate. Base is empty. And he pops it into short left. Echeverria already under it, out from shortstop. 2 up, 2 down. And the off speed again. A couple of outs here on that pitch. MLB.com at bat, your #1 mobile app for live Rays baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Rays home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, and a lot more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Francisco Lindor, who scored the only run of the game with a leadoff double back in the first, and scored on the base hit by Jose Ramirez. That's a first pitch strike. Now 1-1. Ground ball back to the mound. Snell's throw to first, and it's a 1-2-3 fifth through 4.5. 1-0 Cleveland.
Baseball on Fox Sports Sun, and coming up on this Saturday, the first 15,000 fans will receive a mystery bag. Inside is a jersey, and we do have a clue for you. So let's take a look. All right, but now I get to open it. I feel like it's Christmas morning. Oh. Evan Longoria. So how cool is that? And it's presented by GTE Financial. You don't want to miss it. First 15,000 fans will receive a terrific throwback mystery jersey, guys.
All right. Apparently, that's one. You know, she got one of the premier jerseys right there. Of course, Alex, that's how she rolls. But there will be, I think, 8 different jerseys available. And Evan Longoria, of course, number 3. Naturally, Alex got that one.
That's the you know, I mean, listen, he's been the face. He's been here the longest. And yeah, so that's the mystery part of it. And we were wondering the other day, what exactly is the mystery? Because we see the jersey.
Yep.
The mystery is what's on the back. What player's on the back?
We were stumped by the whole mystery idea. Alex went right to the heart of the matter and cleared that up.
Well, here's the other thing. Not only do you have the throwback jersey giveaway, but it's on throwback. You're going to have the throwback game.
Yeah.
And the Indians are taking part too. And they're wearing my all-time favorite uniform on Saturday.
And then following the game, those turn back the clock jerseys worn by the Rays players and coaches, by the way, they'll be autographed and auctioned online. There's a walk to Duda. They'll open the 5th here for the Rays. Second time he's walked in this game. And the Rays put the leadoff man on. And as usual, proceeds for that auction will benefit the Rays Foundation. All of that Saturday. And here is Evan Longoria. It's all coming together here in the 5th inning. Well, feel good about this at bat.
It had better. I mean, at some point, listen, Danny Salazar has been flirting with disaster all night.
Evan fouled it back. First pitch, fastball, strike 1.
I mean, that's what's going on. That's what's going to be worn on Saturday with the red pants, the blood red tops, bottoms, hat, and someone
you know
has
who I
already got their
remember
hands
in
on
those uniforms? George Hendrick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thought he looked great in them.
Gaylord Perry. No one looked great in him. But if anybody made him,
I'm sure George hated them.
Well, for what was on the front, the city that they represented. He often wondered aloud why I ever went back there. And I mean loud.
Yes. Yeah, I kind of miss him. He's great on this coaching staff.
A beauty.
2 strikes the count on Evan. And there's a liner and a base hit into left. First 2 men are on now. Duda goes to second, and Evan with his second hit of the game. So the Rays off to trying to build an inning again here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, well, this is the one they're going to do it. Like I said, you cannot continue to flirt with the danger that Danny Salazar has. The Rays at this point coming in had left 7 men on base through the first 4 innings. A number of leadoff men aboard, a couple of leadoff walks. It's time, and now.
Yeah, it's time right here. 0 for 31 with runners in scoring position. And it's time that came to an end. Just put that away.
I'm tired of looking at the graphic. So please, somebody.
And a foul ball. Strike 1. Action in the bullpen here for the Indians. And Otero up.
He was the beneficiary of the Austin Jackson catch.
Upstairs. 1-1. And a visit to the mound by Gomes. Lindor in on the conversation. Walk to Duda, base hit by Longoria. Morrison had the base hit to center in the third. And shoots it up the gap. Right center field. Duda on his way to the plate. Longoria will go to third, and the Rays are on the board. There you go. And that 0 for 31 comes to an end with men in scoring position. Morrison with his second hit tonight ties this game at 1.
Well, Salazar, where he was sharp early on with his stuff, maybe not always his location, now the stuff has started to flatten out. Last couple of split changes have been left way up in the zone with no finish whatsoever. That is too easy for Logan Morrison. And the Rays not only get that hit out of the way, but you still got runners on the corners in a tie ball game with nobody out. Time to take the lead.
And the Rays RBI leader, Steven Souza Jr. up here. The Rays have tied this game. Souza called out on strikes in the second inning, hit a fly ball to left in the third. Cut and a miss. That breaking ball down. Right back into the screen. So a 2-strike count. Cut and a miss. Boy, that's a big strikeout for Salazar. 3 pitches, and that's the first out.
Boy, the 3 sharpest pitches that he's thrown in a little while. Come here to Souza Jr.
A breaking ball to start, and then he comes here with the changeup. Little bit of finish there, but the arm speed and the change of speed is what got Souza Jr., and that was a big strikeout.
Brad Miller. Miller doubled and homered in the final game of the Red Sox series. The walks tonight. 1-0. And here's a bat. If the Rays could get him going over the next 6 or 7 weeks, that would be a big addition to this lineup. Chopped to second. Out at second, and the throw to first. That goes Ramirez Lindor to Santana, and Salazar gets out of it. The Rays tie it. We go to the 6th, 1-1. 6. Here's what's coming up tomorrow. We'll be on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll hear from Jake Faria, who's after his 6th win tomorrow. Orestes will break down the 2 shortstops in this series and 2 really good ones in Francisco Lindor and Adeiny Echeverria. Coverage begins at 6:30 tomorrow. Second game of 4 with Cleveland in town. In the 6th inning, the third baseman Giovanni Urshela leads it off out of Cartagena, Colombia. The pitch is a ball. This is his first at bat. Kipnis left after being stranded at third in the 4th. Kipnis was 1 for 2 tonight. Have a little hamstring issue, and that's what put him on the disabled list the most recent time.
And those can be troublesome. Hamstrings can linger. That's a tricky injury.
And you're always concerned about re-injury because it can take such time for that to completely heal.
Well, depending on how badly the hamstring is torn, whether it's a grade 1, 2, or 3, the scar tissue that's formed, trying to make that scar tissue, trying to get that out of there and make it a little bit more malleable, that's tough. And if it's not done properly, that stuff tends to snowball on you, and it can be tough, be chronic almost.
2-1 to Urshela. Lifts a fly ball toward the right field line. Souza Jr. makes the catch, and that ball just foul. Carapazza down the line to make that call on the foul catch.
We got to be close to getting our MD, our license, with our breaking down the injuries up here.
Well, it's good to have a little conference once in a while with one of the Rays trainers. Those guys really, they should be MDs.
Well, as long as, listen, I think most of them studied under Dr. Kenneth Noisewater.
Well, you can't get any better than that. It's fouled right back into the screen by Ramirez. It's a 1-1 count. Encarnacion will be next. Very close there. Very close. And it's 2-1.
And we've seen pitches that appeared to be further off, called a strike, and that was a nice job of attempting that shot right there.
Ramirez fouls it out of play.
I'll tell you, Blake Snell has been really good with his fastball away to these righties. On the edge or just off, he's gotten some calls. That's loosened some things up for him, and that's allowed the changeup to be effective. The breaking ball, for the most part, when he's gone to it, has been effective.
A little close there. The count is full. Jim Hickey looking on alongside Tom Foley. That's headed out of play, and we'll see another 3-2 pitch. Pitch count in the mid-80s for Snell. He made 90 pitches in that last outing on the 3rd a week ago in Houston. Covered 4 innings with that. Shot to center field. Smith will go back and make the catch just short of the track. 2 gone. Now that ball left the bat of Ramirez, and you thought it might get over the head of Smith if he didn't get back in a hurry, but he caught that ball as he neared the track.
There have been a number of balls hit, whether it's been pop-ups, fly balls. That ball maybe gets in on the label just a little bit, but coming off the bat, it just have not had the same jump as we normally see. And maybe it's just one of those nights those balls are off the barrel by just a hair, but it seems like they're starting to add up as this game goes on. Maybe this box of balls is from 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, how'd they get in there? Here's Encarnacion taking a pitch wide, 1-0. I'll say this right now, there's no difference in the baseballs, okay?
Thanks for covering for us.
1-0. That's a strike. 1-1. This next pitch for Snell will be his 90th. This one got a bit of Sucre. 1-2. Two up, two down. Snell has had 3 1-2-3 innings tonight. And now he has 4. He strikes out Encarnacion. We're headed into the bottom of the 6th. Rays and Cleveland tied at 1. Cleveland opened the scoring in the first inning. It was Jose Ramirez on this base hit. A great effort by Longoria. Lindor scored, and it was 1-0 as Blake Snell settled in and threw 6. A little over 90 pitches for Snell. A couple of walks and 4 strikeouts. And right now, this game is tied 1-1. Logan Morrison's base hit to right center in the bottom of the 5th scored Lucas Duda. Rays facing Danny Salazar. Bottom of the 6th inning. He's up against Danny Echeverria and ahead in the count. Echeverria twice has struck out and lifts this one a high popper short right. Ramirez out, coming in from right. Geyer. Brandon Geyer makes the catch.
Brandon Geyer reminding Jose Ramirez, I've played here. I've got it covered. You could see Ramirez getting back quickly right there because of visiting teams having so much trouble here with the roof. And so they have been coached up to everybody pursue the baseball, and then you've got to communicate from there. But that's aggressive by Ramirez, how deep he gets. And Brandon Geyer says, I got this.
And especially the first day in, to get used to the roof. Smith, and that's a strike because he shortened on it.
He shortened on it, and he just missed that fastball. You don't see that very often. Usually when Malik Smith commits to bunting, he's either going to pull back or get it down somehow. He got caught in between there.
Down and in. It's 1-1. Action now in the Cleveland bullpen. Brian Shaw up. This one popped down the left side. That's a defensive swing, and it turns out to be a base hit. That fastball riding in on him, and he was swinging as if to say, get off me, and drops a base hit into left.
Yeah, this right here, not going to make any highlight reel, but this guy's ball coming in. And you're right, Malik Smith at the very end there regretting starting this swing. But guess what? That right there is a base hit, baby.
Well, that's going to end the night for Danny Salazar. Loop base hit the other way. Call to the bullpen, brought to you by the Florida Lottery. This is the end of the evening for Danny Salazar. Get a $6 value for $5 when you ask for a grouper from the Florida Lottery. With so many life-changing prizes, get your group ready. The Florida Lottery, it's your ticket. Claim it. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. Salazar, 103 pitches through 5 1/3, 7 hits, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts, and he leaves with a man on in a tie game in favor of Brian Shaw, who's in here to face Jesus Sucre. And a move over to first with Malik Smith back in.
And Danny Salazar doing some bobbing and weaving here tonight against the Rays. A lot of base runners, a lot of potential trouble, and so far the Rays have only been able to get him for a run. As you see Brian Shaw's numbers on the season, 52 1/3 innings of work.
And that's a ball wide. Into right field. Geyer makes the catch. It's the second out. And now Corey Dickerson comes on.
Number 10, Corey Dickerson.
This will be the first at bat for Dickerson against Brian Shaw.
Shaw will give you a little bit of that crossfire action and kind of sling and cut that fastball in on lefties. We've seen teams try to come in on Corey Dickerson up and in, up and away. He's one of the more aggressive hitters in the league, so teams try to expand that strike zone on him, and they try to do it really from pitch number 1.
Pitch is up. Quick delivery by Shaw, starting a stop by Smith over at first.
Try to time him up a little bit, get a false jump, see how you feel about it, and maybe eventually go. Try to get into scoring position here with 2 outs. Now would be the time.
And this one just a little low, not by much. Lifted into left. Almonte makes the catch on this one, and the Rays will leave a base runner. We're through 6. Opening game of this 4-game series. Rays pitchers strike out 10 hitters during a home game. Then visit CanesStrikeout.com. Obtain a printed home voucher. Take that to any Canes furniture store within 7 days and receive a coupon for a free Whopper sandwich combo meal from Burger King. Carlos Santana is going to open the 7th inning. And the pitch is a little wide. 1 ball, no strike. Santana, Jackson, Geyer. Mike Snell, through 6 innings, has given up 1 run and 3 hits. 2-0. Tommy Hunter busy in the bullpen. Foul ball, and that catches Sucre. 2-1.
He's like, enough. Enough with that. Greg Gibson's like, I know how you feel.
It's night after night.
Remember the shot he took in Houston. I feel like you're all covered up here. You got too close.
Now 3 balls and a strike. Ground ball chopped to third. And Evan Longoria takes care of that. So Snell, falling behind, comes back to get Santana. At one point, Snell was 13 of 19 in first pitch strikes. He's now 13 of 23. Missing on the last 4 hitters.
He was setting a pretty good pace there, but overall has still, not let too many counts get away from him, and that has been the key to his success here tonight.
Jackson takes ball 1.
And when he's able to do that, then all of a sudden he can mix the other pitches in where those pitches can get outs, not get you back into counts. Big difference. 2-1 changeup, a 1-2 changeup, or a 1-1 changeup to get an out on it.
Fastball misses, 2-0. Well, he's gone 6 1/3 tonight. He went 7 innings against Baltimore on the 24th of July. And that pitch is wide, so he falls way behind. 3-0 to count on Jackson. Strike. He's had 5 3-ball counts tonight. 3 of those in the last 4 hitters. He's at 100 pitches. Fly ball into left. Here comes Dickerson. Can't get there. That one gets by him. It'll be chased by Malik Smith, who knocks it down but can't come up with it. Jackson's going to go all the way to third. And the Indians have a man at third with 1 out in the 7th.
That was just a little bit of overzealous play by Corey Dickerson. You know, he's trying to make a play in this tight ball game. And by the time he realizes he's not going to be able to get there in time, he's gotten too close. Look at him go, 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 go. Can't get there, and now it bounces right by you. At some point, you got to feel like you can't get there, and you want to pull up and play it off the hop. You get too close to it, you run that risk, and then Austin Jackson can still motor a little bit, and he's able to get all the way to third base. Unfortunate turn of events, and that's going to end the night here. Perhaps. We'll see. Kevin Cash is going to the mound, and he is going to go to the pen.
So Cash makes the move for the new pitcher. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Change and walks the length of the dugout to give Blake Snell an attaboy for this performance tonight. Been tough for Snell. Comes in 0-6 with a .498, 6 1/3 tonight.
Yeah, and for the most part, he set the tone early by pounding the strike zone. You know, with that fastball, and then he was able to work in the off speed. We saw the changeup early and often. That was a good pitch for him. And overall, Blake Snell threw the ball tremendous. And so I'll tell you, he should be very happy with this outing. And really, Austin Jackson should not be on third base. That ball should have, probably fallen in, or should have fallen in, but it should have fallen in for a single, not a triple. And he's responsible for him. But overall, you got to love his body of work here tonight.
Well, Jay Bruce will pinch hit for Geyer with Tommy Hunter in the game. So Bruce making his Cleveland debut, and he goes after the first one and skies it on the infield, and Echeverria is there waiting for that one. That was a major league pop-up, to be sure, and Bruce is out number 2. Jay Bruce just coming over from the New York Mets. One pitch and he is retired.
Well, that's huge. I mean, that was huge because you got the slugger up there. 29 home runs, first at bat with the team trying to get something to the outfield to give his team the lead. Infield pop up, now one more out, you're out of this spot.
Well, here is Yan Gomes, who the day before yesterday hit the walk-off home run for Cleveland. It was against Colorado.
That was off Derek Holland.
Yep.
Major league leader in saves.
One ball, no strikes. Upstairs, 2-0. Cut and a miss. 2-1. So Hunter taking over for Snell with a man at third. Came in with 1 out, 2 outs now. And the 2-1 to Gomes. Fastball at 98 but wide. 3-1. Monte on deck. That will be out of play, and the count is full. 3-2. Swing and a miss. 98 by Gomes. That retires the side. A man left at third. It's 7th inning stretch time at the ballpark with the Rays and Cleveland tied 1-1. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Bradley Zimmer takes over in center field, and Jackson moves over to play right field. Geyer lifted for the pinch hitter. Zimmer is now in center, Jackson in right. Lucas Duda leads it off, and he takes the pitch for a strike. Longoria and Morrison will follow. Brian Shaw still on the hill. He closed out the 6th, opening the 7th, and he's quick right there, down around that corner, away from Lucas Duda. Nothing in 2. Close there.
Well, you see how Brian Shaw uses that cutter. I mean, he'll use it in to try to get on the hands of left-handed hitters. He'll backdoor it, try to catch the outside corner.
And he's heavy, heavy, heavy with that pitch.
Yeah, and some deception to go along with it. As you see his delivery across his body. And then there's the slider. So it's cutter slider.
It's Evan Longoria on deck. And strike 3 called away from him around the knees. Quick and Lone's rocket arms. Well, tonight, Blake Snell giving the Rays 6 1/3, a run on 4 hits, a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts, made 101 pitches. And Danny Salazar 5 1/3 of 1 run, 7 hit baseball, 8 strikeouts for Cleveland. Evan Longoria takes ball 1. Evan 0 for 6 in his career against Shaw with 3 strikeouts. We'll take that one for a ball. 2-0. Popped up right side, foul, but playable for Santana. 2 gone. So the bases are empty. 2 outs for Logan Morrison. Well, Morrison 2 for 3 tonight with a run batted in. You know, matchups are interesting in that you try to get some kind of trend, and almost every hitter has had problems with Shaw in the Rays lineup. There's a foul ball up the right side. Morrison jumping on the first pitch. Logan's 1 for 6 against him with a couple strikeouts. The guy who's had the most success for the Rays against Brian Shaw is Trevor Plouffe. He's 3 of 11 with a home run off him.
You know, and for the longest time, Plouffe, who'd he play for? Minnesota Twins, same division.
Yep.
See him a little bit more often. How about that?
Morrison drove in the run for the Rays in the 5th. Duda, who had walked, scored the run. And a base hit into center. Logan Morrison with a 2-out single, and he has 3 hits tonight. He has 3 of the 8 hits. The Rays have had hits in every inning, and they've left men on base in every inning. They scored in the 5th.
Well, that cutter heads right towards the middle of the plate, and Logan Morrison, you see him stay right on that pitch. He knows how Brian Shaw likes to work, and in a 2-0 count, more than likely he's going to stay away from him. He did, and he just takes it right back up the middle.
Steven Souza Jr. Souza's had 1 plate appearance against Shaw and walked. Pitch is upstairs. Goody is up in the bullpen. Fly ball back into center. Zimmer is there, and he makes the catch, and that is out number 3. We're headed into the 8th, tied 1-1. One ball game. We're through 7, headed into the 8th. Cleveland scored a run in the 1st, driven home by All-Star Jose Ramirez, and the Rays got a run driven in by Logan Morrison in the 5th. Tommy Hunter all set to open the 8th inning. He got the last 2 outs in the 7th, leaving Austin Jackson down at 3rd base. Abraham Almonte hitting from the left side, and he's a little late on that one. Strike 1. Strikeout and a pop to short. Almonte 0 for 2 tonight. It's upstairs. 1-1. Two and 1. Rays get more action in the bullpen. Cishek up there. Steve Cishek pitched an inning in the game last night against Boston. 3-1 to count to the number 9 hitter.
And leadoff hitter. Need Tommy Hunter to come back here, make some pitches, and retire Almonte.
Into center field. Will it hang up long enough? Yes. Malik Smith racing straight in, got there. Ball cutting in and sounded as if the bat may have broken, but the ball hung up long enough and Smith runs under it.
Right at him too. Could not have shaded him more perfectly, and then just come in, use that speed, and glove that first out. And check the cheat sheet. You move these infielders and outfielders around on each and every hitter.
It was Francisco Lindor who has scored the Cleveland run. He fouls it. Strike one. Lindor trying to get a jump on that fastball. Get a swing in a hurry.
Yeah, well, coming in too, and Lindor's got quick hands. You got to be careful with that pitch. Ooh, see that right there. I mean, and by the way, he's got some juice. And that pitch gets in there on the barrel, and he will launch. But Tommy Hunter pounds 2 in there, gets 2 foul balls. Here he is, cutting that fastball in, and Lindor trying to lift and separate.
There's 19 home runs this year. Hunter ahead, 0-2. Now a ball, 2 strikes. Urshela on deck. And he got it. Went up with the fastball, 97. Oh, that's, you're talking about an effective pitch up there at 97.
We see it all around the league. And Tommy Hunter, he went with the cutters early and then traditional 4-seam late up at the top of the zone. And that's why Tommy Hunter is on the run that he's on right now. These scoreless appearances, he has been one of the bedrocks of that bullpen. And he just continues to execute pitches.
And a strike taken by Urshela. Foul ball up the right side in the 6th, caught by Souza. And fouls it that way, well out of play this time. Blake Snell, 6 1/3. An inning and a third right now for Hunter. 2 outs into the 8th. He got it. Struck him out. 1, 2, 3 go the Cleveland Indians in the 8th. 3 strikeouts in this outing for Hunter. 1-1 tie. 8th we go at Tropicana Field. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Well, before and after the All-Star break, and cold is what the Rays have been. Their run production has gone from 4.8 to 3.2, and hitting with men in scoring position down to 205. Home run production down as well. So the Rays tonight have a run. They've left 10 men on base through the first 7, but they tied this game with a run in the 5th. Nick Goody is the new pitcher, making his 40th appearance. Leading off for the Rays, Brad Miller, and he takes a big cut. Missed the fastball, strike 1. Recently, Goody big with the slider and the fastball.
There's some good strikeout numbers. This Indians bullpen as a whole big with the strikeout numbers. One of the better bullpens in the league. Certainly missing Andrew Miller, but still plenty of firepower down there.
1-1 to count.
They picked up Joe Smith in a deadline deal from Toronto.
Popped up, foul, that carries out of play. Cleveland got Goody over the winter from the New York Yankees. Started the year with their AAA club in Columbus. And he strikes out Miller. It's the 10th strikeout for Cleveland pitching, and he got
away with one.
Yeah, he did. You know, that he had enough off speed of that fastball. That slider didn't do much, and he strikes out Miller.
I just liked you watching the replay, wondering
how
did that happen. Yeah, that was a hanger, but you're right, the change of speed is what got him. It's not a breaking ball that you'd like to repeat.
Echeverria takes ball 1. Colomé up in the Rays bullpen. Popped foul and will come back out of play.
that got Dave or Andy in the booth next to us. That got one of them. Oh yeah, it hit their ledge and I heard it rattle in there.
And now it's awfully quiet. It's never quiet over there.
somebody got it. No, that was after somebody picked it up and put it in there.
Can't get away with that. Where's your credibility? 1-2 the count. So 1 out, bases empty in the bottom of the 8th. Skied up the right side, out of play.
Oh.
Careful.
There's a lot of late hands going up for that. The hand eye, not as quick as you'd like it.
Into the dirt. 2-2. Echeverria homered in the final game of the Boston series. Picking up his first home run in a Rays uniform. He's 2-2 here in the 8th against Nick Goody. And there's ball 3. The count is full. Salazar worked 5 1/3, making his 14th start of the year. Ryan Shaw an inning and 2/3. Goody sends this one to the plate. The base hit into left comes up on Almonte, and there's a base hit. Echeverria made the aggressive turn at first. And the Rays have a base runner with 1 out in the 8th.
Now another slider. This one stays up enough. Echeverria had seen enough pitches in that at bat, and he goes down and gets it, hits it hard enough and just high enough. Get it over the head of Lindor. Give the Rays a base runner here in the 8th inning. Let's see what they can do with it. They've had base runners all night long.
Alex Smith 2 for 3 tonight. And that's a ball outside. Runner at first with 1 out in a 1-1 ball game. Echeverria's on the move, and the throw down is high, gonna go into center field. Echeverria will head to third on the steal of second, and with the throw going into center, the Rays now have the go-ahead run at third with 1 out.
Now here it goes. Yan Gomes forced to rush that throw a little bit, and Lindor tries to keep his feet as close to the bag as he can and reach for this throw in an attempt to make a tag. And you can see him trying to reach as far as he could and tag behind him. And that ball right off the end of the glove, and Echeverria gets over to third base, and now that forces the infield to come in for Cleveland. Golden opportunity.
Yes, it is. Echeverria picking up his first steal for the Rays. Now a 2-0 count on Smith. And the Indians charged with the first error of the game, allowing Echeverria to go to third on the throw.
Boy, take the lead here, turn it over to Alex Colomé. You know, this has been a game. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe you feel the same with this. The energy level in the building tonight from both teams has not been what you would have expected.
Yep.
And so this is where, man, you can pull this one out right here and now.
And Alex, after the pitch up, 2-1. So a big steal by Echeverria. His first of the year. He had 1 last year. Lines up at third on the throw. And here comes the suicide squeeze, and the bunt is fouled and nearly caught. How about that? Nearly caught, and if he catches that, they turn it into 2.
Yeah, and it was close. Boy, an aggressive call there by the Rays. Kevin Cash, they're trying to make something, anything happen. This ball popped up. Here comes Urshela. That ball is in there and then pops free.
And Echeverria saw it popped up and knew that he was in trouble. A foul ball, and then Urshela came very close to hanging on to that, which would have been an inning-ending double play. Instead, it's a 2-2 count with Echeverria still at third. Infield stays in. And they're going to do it again, and it's popped up and a foul ball, and Santana cannot catch this one.
Goodness gracious.
So with 2 strikes, Smith trying to put down the bunt, and bunt's foul, so he's out technically on strikes, and Santana was looking at another inning-ending double play and could not catch it.
Yeah, this one would have been a little bit tougher because Echeverria actually was heading back towards third, and there was traffic over here. Here comes Santana, and right there kind of loses. I don't know if he stubbed his foot or something coming in there, but another bunt. That ball way up. Those are the ones that get popped up. And Alex goes after it with what's being called there. What's at stake? Santana not able to corral that. That would have been a tough double play, but boy.
Here's Jesus Sucre. And he takes that pitch for a strike, upper part of the zone. Checking with Greg Gibson. So twice the Rays tried to squeeze the run home. Oh, look out. Sucre hit on the hand by that pitch, maybe the forearm. And that's Smarts.
Yeah, right on the not so funny bone.
So he'll walk it down to first.
One ball running up and in, and that's exactly right on the outside. Yeah, that's right there.
So they'll take a look at that left forearm just below the elbow, up around the elbow area, the forearm there. Paul Harker out. The Indians are going to have a big conference on the mound. First and third with 2 outs, and Corey Dickerson is due up. Otero, who was up earlier, is now in the bullpen. So the Rays stay alive in the bottom of the 8th. Gibson, the plate umpire, out there to break up the conference on the mound. So Dickerson tonight looking for his first hit. Continues to be a tough stretch for Corey. He's 0 for his last 21 right now. This would be a great time to break that streak. And he shoots a shot back into straightaway center. Zimmer to the wall, and that ball is caught by Zimmer. Or is it? That ball is gone. It's a home run. Boy, for a moment, it appeared that Zimmer might have actually robbed Dickerson, but Dickerson hits it out to straightaway center. And it's a 3-run home run. That's the way to break a hitless streak. A shot to center. Zimmer went all the way back to the wall. Here's the pitch and the drive and the eventual home run by Dickerson.
That ball rolled straightaway center field. Here comes Zimmer trying to time it up into the wall. That ball creeps over, and there you go.
The Rays take a 4-1 lead. Duda now swings and misses. Strike 1. Boy, you see that ball just elude the mitt of Zimmer out there in center field. Duda tries to check on that slider, and it's 0-2. This one is down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 22nd home run of the year for Dickerson. Well, a big blast for Corey Dickerson to give the Rays this 4-1 lead. Duda is out on strikes. A slider for the strikeout. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Goody, but the Rays come up with 3 runs on 1 swing of the bat from Corey Dickerson. And at the end of 8, it's 4-1 Tampa Bay. To smile about. Well, the Rays had left men on base in every inning except the 8th, courtesy of Corey Dickerson, who hits this one out to center field. And just for a moment it appeared that Zimmer might have pulled off the impossible as he made an attempt to go up after that ball, and it got just over his glove. And the Rays have taken a 4-1 lead on the 22nd home run of the year by Corey Dickerson. And now call upon Alex Colomé here in the 9th inning to close this one out.
We're looking for his 34th save of the season, 49th appearance, 50 2/3 innings, has a 3-run lead here to work with.
Now the pitch to Ramirez is a strike. Ramirez drove in the Cleveland run back in the 1st. It's 1-1. Colomé follows Tommy Hunter, who pitched an inning and 2/3, collecting 3 strikeouts. Hunter and Goody are the pitchers of record. And a chop to the right side, handled by Miller. So Ramirez is out on the chopper. Miller to Morrison. Well, we'll take a look at the American League saves leaders, presented by Bonefish Grill. And 33 for Colomé, leading the American League in saves.
Well, got a little bit of a cushion over Osuna from Toronto, looking to extend that lead.
Here's Encarnacion. 1 ball, no strikes. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. One and 1. the mound. Picked up by Longoria, coming over from third. And Evan makes a nice play to get Encarnacion. That ball cued off Encarnacion's bat.
Yeah, and Evan, I'll tell you something. You talk about taking charge of a play. Once this ball gets by Alex Colomé, it's like kind of out in no man's land. And watch Evan, like a bat out of. Cut right in front of Echeverria and then get that toss over to Morrison for the second out.
Well, the Rays started the day a game back of the second wild card spot, tied with Kansas City. Kansas City at St. Louis. Cardinals batting in the bottom of the ninth, or bottom of the seventh, tied 3-3. The Rays a game back of Seattle. Mariners home against the Angels, and that game not yet started. As Santana swings and misses. Santana 0 for 3. Foul. Boy, when you think about the bottom of the eighth and the chance, not once but twice the Indians had of ending the inning when the Rays on successive pitches tried to squeeze home the run. They failed to close it out, and Dickerson eventually hit the 3-run home run to give the Rays this lead. 2 strikes the count to Santana. And an in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And now the Rays an out, a strike away from saving this game for Hunter. Colomé after his 34th save. The 1-2. Ground ball first. That's foul. And we'll see another pitch. Coming up, Rays Live, the post game presented by W.B. Mason. Rich Interest is breaking down Corey Dickerson's homer. We'll hear from Kevin Cash in his post game press conference, and Alex Cordry will have interviews from the clubhouse. 1-2 again. It's all over. A cut and a miss. Santana out on strikes. A 1-2-3 ninth for Colomé. And the Rays, after stranding 10 men through the first 7 and settling for 1 run, scored 3 on 1 swing of the bat from Corey Dickerson in the 8th. And Alex Colomé closes it out. Here is the final pitch in this 4-1 Rays victory.
Boy, just a little spinner there, trying to get that down in the middle of the plate. He leaves it on the outside corner, and you get the swing over top of it, and the Rays take game 1 of this 4-gamer.
Hunter the winner, 2-2. Goody the losing pitcher, and Colomé save number 34. For Brian Anderson and Alex Cordry, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays Live, the postgame presented by W.B. Mason is next.